Hi everyone, it's Sally here. Just want to say hello, and I thought, since I was kind of taking these children's books apart, I would show you the process on that. It's a lot different than taking apart a regular old vintage book, which comes apart so easily. These are definitely more difficult. I did 3 already. This one here, because I'm going to be turning these into journals. I love the covers. So what I did was I took this one apart already, and I've set aside the pages I want to keep. The rest of them I have clipped together, which I will, right here, which I will save for other projects. So that one's done. And I did this one just a few minutes ago. I haven't gone through the pages yet. There are so many of them. Seriously, I would love to share them with you people. I don't want to sell them. I just would like to give them to people who want to pay for the postage. After, I'm going to pick out a few pages I want, but lots of these pages are like this. They have cute pictures on them. I probably will keep that one. Let's see, at the top of the page, this one was colored on. Like that. So if you would be interested in paying the postage to get some of these, I'd be happy to share a few signatures with people. Okay, so that's this one, and this book definitely, I will recover this. I don't care for all the color crayon scribbling. And it does have a hole right here. So I will be putting some Tyvek on here to reinforce this spine. Generally what I do is I paint the Tyvek the color that this is. So if it does show through, you won't see it at all. It works really great. So that's what I'll do with that one. This one here is, I love the cover on this. The pages weren't quite as interesting. It was for older kids, but I've kept a few that I really I really liked. So there is that. And then, so I thought, well, I would, well, first of all, let me just say, I have all my tools here. So I have a big pair of scissors and a small pair of scissors, needle nose pliers. These are staple pullers. This one here is kind of a heavy duty one. I got this one at Staples. And this one came with my Fiskars scissors. And I like this one a lot, but I'm kind of try to use this one instead, because this one here I'm afraid is going to break. My French knife, a letter opener, and a couple of X-Acto knives. So those are the tools I'll be using. Let me just see if I'm in frame. This is good. Okay. All right. So I chose this book because it's very typical of a children's book in the way that it's bound. And this one has a nice tight binding, which is not good for me because that means it's going to be harder to get it apart. But this is how I tackle it. I will just kind of well, first I'll try to open up as much as I can by grabbing the book like this and then just pushing apart. So see the stitches there? Those are what I need to get out. And there's probably a couple of staples in there too. I can actually tell because I'm looking right here. I see a little bit of rust here and here. I don't know if you can tell, but that means there's probably staples in there too. So let me so I set the very back page is actually attached to this one. So I'm not going to include that. I'm just going to start here, and I'm going to try to open and push, just like bend it back. And that exposes those stitches. And then actually probably we'll go to the middle of the book, like this, and then I'm going to try to start cutting through them. So I can see them there. So I'm just going to take my knife and cut those. You want to have a sharp blade on your craft knife. Let's see how I'm doing here. Okay. Cut a little deeper. I feel like yeah, so I can see some places here where I could see that the stitches have been cut through. Let's try pulling this part again. Oh, there you see. Just cracked right open. So I did cut through the stitches, and there's the staples here and here. So let's do the same thing in the front. I'd like to get this text block out. Crack it back like this. There's the staples. So there's not much holding it together right now. And so what I'm going to do right now is just cut through here where the staple is. And here. So I can release the text block. And it is, I mean, this book is in surprisingly good condition. It's actually still glued down into the spine pretty well. So just kind of have to wrestle with it a little bit, get it apart. Don't be afraid to put some muscle into it. Okay, so now just trying to get that spine released. There we go. Okay, so there's the block of pages. We've gotten rid of the stitching. Now we just have to get the staples out, because I want to save a lot of these pages, because, you know, look at these cute pictures. Oh my gosh, they're so adorable. And the book, it's still in great shape. So what I will probably do now is go back and trim here. See, it's just, these books are made for extra wear and tear because they were going to be handled by a lot of children. So things like extra strong book cloth here in the binding, and all the string here, it just made the books much sturdier. This book is, let's just see how old it is. 1947. So it's, well, let's see, 60, 70, 85 years old. Is that right? 85 years old, and look at what great shape it is in. Look at these pages. They're not even dirty. I don't think this one was used very much. Probably sat on the shelf a lot. It was an extra copy or something. So now I'm just going to trim close to the spine, but not, I don't want to cut the spine, but I want to trim this excess stuff off, like so. And then this page here, so I saved all of these pages like this. I use them to back tags. If there's writing on them, lots of times I like that part to show even. So that will get saved. And same with this one. And let's just cut this. So I'm just pushing here, exposing the edge here that's not glued down. This is what I want to trim off. There's that string that was holding it all together. That was heavy string. Okay, so then I'm just going to trim this. Actually, what I'm going to do is pull this page off first, because it's just in my way. So this page gets saved. I love how it's got those holes there. And now I'm going to trim this off. And actually, that's fabric. You know what? Lots of times I can actually cut a little bit and then just rip it, because it will tear. Okay, I'm going to cut this one because it doesn't tear as easily. Okay, it's a little bit jagged. And let me just get out the rest of this. All right, now, see, it's ready. Even the spine won't even need any reinforcement. It's in excellent condition. So I will just go ahead and I could just put fabric right here and bind directly into the spine. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. So this one's done, but not the pages. Let's take a look at those. So here's the staple. The staples always rust. So I'm going to try to, first I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to get in here with my big heavy duty staple puller and just try to pry up the ends. loosen them up. Lots of times these aren't too bad, but sometimes the staples are so old and rusty they just break. I'm just going to loosen up those staples. So now they're both sticking up here. Same thing here. I'm not using my other puller because this could break it. But now the staples are ready to be pulled out. Here they are. And so on this side, let's see if I can get my puller underneath and get them out. Oh, there we go. Take the pliers and pull it out the rest of the way. There we go. So there it is. It's a big, heavy-duty staple. Okay, so we'll get this one out too. Oh, that came out pretty easily. There it is. Okay, now once the staples are out and the threads are cut, I should be able to take these signatures apart. You can see here where they are glued together. I'm just going to try to work those apart. Sometimes I use my knife just to kind of get in there and pry them apart like that. Let's take one off. I'm just going to lift it right off. Okay, oops, I see that's not good. Okay, you want to make sure you get the last page of the signature so you don't tear, and try to figure out where it was joined together. It looks like there. Yeah. So here's a whole signature. It's all in one piece. The pages are, you know, ready to be taken out and reused. Now, lots of times when I'm using these in journals, I just go ahead and I cut this off and then join them together with, you know, some of this, what do you call it, Japanese or, I don't know. It's handmade paper. I think it's from China or someplace. And that works really good because it's light and it's strong and it's flexible. So I could do that. And I won't use all these pages. And, you know, like, once again, I would love to share some of this. Okay, so let's take this, take that out. So this is the other page of this spread. That goes like that. Then here's another signature. Whoops. Right there. Oh, there's a little bit of the staple poking through. So it must have broken off. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, and there's a whole signature there. And I think there are two more. So if this was more interesting, I would save this spine material. Like, if it looks like this, I will save it. I do like the look of that. And this, there's just, I mean, not a lot to it. I think I do like to save these little bits. Actually, I think that came off of another book. Okay, so yeah, I see some more staple poking through here. I'm just going to get that out. And separate these two. There's two signatures here. And so that's it. Look at these adorable pictures. Okay, so I will go through there and pick out the ones I want. And, you know, if you would like to have, like, a bundle, let me know. I'd be happy to share. Okay, so that one's done. I don't know if you want to watch me do another one. It's pretty much the same thing. This one's going to be the same way. It's a little older, but it's the same thing. It's got the stitches. They're right in there. You can see them. And I'm sure there are staples too. So that's how it's done. Just takes a little bit more work. And if you kind of understand the way the books are put together, it really makes it go easier. You know, you know what to expect. You know you're going to have to cut those threads. You know you're going to have those staples. And probably that spine is glued to the back. You know, these books were heavy duty. So these are some more that I'm going to be doing. I think this one, yeah, it's the same way. But this one is in worse shape. Look at that. You can see where it's pulling apart there. So this one won't be too difficult to take apart. This was a really old book. I have a feeling this, my sister said this one might have been one in her classroom. This book is 1904. The pictures are black and white, so not as exciting to me. Okay, so thanks for watching. This is what I'm going to be working on for the next week.